think there's kind of two main kinds of real estate finance lawyer. There's ones who can churn, which is fine. We absolutely need churn. And then there's advisory. And at Kuits, we would like to think, and we are more on the advisory side. We can do a bit of churn, but we like clients who come to us for advice and say, we've got this issue, how can we get around it? How can we structure this loan? This loan may have gone bad. What are our options? What can we do about it? That's what we thrive on.
Hi, I'm Michael Allison, Commercial Director at Roma Finance, and welcome to another episode of RomaTalks, where I meet people from across the property ecosystem and some colleagues from Roma as well. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Lorraine Hart, Roma's Head of Credit, and Sam Jackson from Kuits. Hi.
Hi, nice to be here.
Hello to you both. Lorraine, we finally got you on. We'll come to you in a moment. Sam, for those of you who don't know you, why don't you just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So I'm Sam Jackson. I'm one of the partners in the real estate finance team at Kuits Solicitors, based in Manchester, and we've worked with Roma for 8-9 years.
Wow. Since
around the beginning, I guess.
Fantastic. And Lorraine, yourself?
So, as you rightly said, I'm Head of Credit at Roma Finance. In the finance industry for 30 years. Started off at HFC Bank. 13 years there, Co-op Bank.
Wow.
Done collections, lending, underwriting, you name it, I've done it, branch management, financial advisor, and here I am.
So if you had a badge for every role that you did,
I'd be like the
scout,
brownies.
yeah, all the way up, all the way up the side.
That's right.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so obviously, have you two been working together during that 8 years?
Absolutely, yeah. Since day one.
Yeah, we have.
So far, so good, I think.
Yeah, going strong.
Well, we have got a real strong relationship with Kuits. What have you seen change over the 8 years with Roma, Sam?
It's been massive. I think at the start, there were only a handful of you.
Yeah.
We got a few instructions a month. At the start, I did them all myself because there weren't that many. And over the years, it's a completely different scene now. I don't know, how many of you are there now? Like 50, 60 more?
Mid-70s.
70s, wow.
Yeah.
And obviously we've been working with you. You've got a really strong relationship. You give us a lot of work and we're very grateful. And now we've got like a whole team that works with Roma at Kuits.
So as Head of Credit, what is it that you actually look for in that solicitor partner for Roma?
We get a quick response. If I need advice, I can get it straight away. He's always on hand. And I think we understand what each other need in terms of Sam's always there at month end, wanting to know, what I'm intending to get over the line. If I say I want to get something over the line quickly, he responds, and his whole team do. And it's that responsiveness, I think, being able to get a quick answer.
So it's more like a partnership, isn't it?
Rather than just a
service.
Yeah, 100%.
I think, for us, it's really important to know your client's business. And like you said, obviously, month end, everyone's got targets.
Yeah.
And it's all about honesty as well. Lorraine will call me up, really need to get this deal through. Sometimes you've got to break hearts and say, really sorry, it's not going to happen. Can we look at a different one instead? So, it's all about communication, honesty.
And that's the bit, I guess, people don't see if brokers or customers, they don't see that collaboration that we do to get, or you certainly do, and drive to get those cases through, because ultimately we want to get the cases paid out because that's when we all get paid, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a bit of a misconception perhaps from the borrower's side that, the lender's lawyer, we just delay things. But at the same time, we don't get paid till you get paid. So we're all on the same side.
And what common mistakes do you see borrowers make, do you think, throughout that legal process? Is there anything that they could sharpen up on or change it for themselves?
I think I wouldn't really say there's common mistakes, but for example, more complex transactions, we're seeing a lot more share purchases as opposed to as in purchasing the company rather than the property, because there's usually some quite substantial tax savings. Absolutely fine. We can assist with that. However, not only do you need to look at the property, do all that due diligence in the usual way, you've got to do the same for the company. And I think there's, again, a bit of a misconception that, it'll be really quick, it'll be really easy. And it's just a lot more complicated. So the fingers often point at us to say, they're slowing things down. But recently we've had a matter where we would act on a share purchase. And in the background, there was a trust structure, which meant that the company didn't actually own the property. So we found that out. We let the borrower's solicitor know. And eventually the borrower was really grateful because then, had we not spotted that, they wouldn't have owned the property in the end. So.
And ultimately, that's the importance of the legal process, isn't it, Lorraine? It's not just about signing documents and paying money out. It's about making sure it's the right transaction for everyone.
Yeah, it's keeping everybody safe. But I think one of the biggest mistakes we see is maybe borrowers choosing the wrong solicitor. They should be looking for somebody that's experienced in bridging, because if they're not, then it can seem quite onerous and it can seem complicated, whereas somebody that's used to that sort of transaction, it's a breeze and it makes the whole thing so much smoother and quicker. So I think that's one of the biggest things.
I completely agree. And an example we've had recently, I think it was a Roma internal refinance, and you send out your initial email with here's everything we need, and said, I think it's quite an urgent one we need to complete within 5 days. And the response was, I think we can all agree this isn't going to complete in 5 days. So my response was, well, you've not met my client and you've not met me. And it's completely possible, I think, if everyone's on the same page.
I think that's a key bit, isn't it? I guess you knew it because Lorraine and the team signposted exactly what needs to be done. I know obviously you have your month-end catch-ups, etc., but it's making sure that we're clear with you, I guess, on the instruction, isn't it, Lorraine?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of the instructions we get come from pre-instruction calls.
Yeah.
You say, we've got this, do you reckon you can do it?
Yeah.
And more often than not, it's a yes. Sometimes you've got to be honest and say, can't deliver on that one.
That doesn't happen often.
We should put Kite's number up there.
I know.
At that point when you say it, we should put it up underneath. So have you seen much changes in, obviously you've seen changes in Rome, which is great, and we've likewise seen it in Kite. Have you seen much change in borrower transactions over the last few years? Because obviously a lot has changed in the market, hasn't it?
And is still changing, yeah. I think at the moment we're seeing a lot of big portfolio refinances.
Yeah.
Not a lot of purchasing, but a lot of development as well. Office to resi is quite a big thing at the moment. So with upcoming changes in terms of renters' rights, obviously being a landlord is probably a little bit less attractive at the moment. But yeah, we see a wide range of transactions, especially from Roma. You like to diversify.
We have a very broad product toolkit, and Lorraine, obviously you sit across all of that. Are you seeing any particular products that are hotter than others at the moment, or?
I think I'd echo what Sam said. The development piece is still going strong. We're seeing less of the straightforward flip type transactions. Seen quite a few more multi-unit properties coming through. So yeah, I think it's quite cyclical. It goes through different phases. Depending on the economic climate, obviously. But yeah, I'd echo what Sam says. You've obviously seen that because this is what we're providing and that's what we're seeing. So yeah, the development piece is definitely quite heavy at the moment.
Brilliant. And as we continue to move forward into 2026, 2027, technology is always on the cusp of coming in. And I know that in conveyance it's really difficult to implement a lot of technology because you rely on all the different lawyers. How do you see AI or technology coming into the conveyancing space over the next few years?
I think it's really important to embrace it.
Right.
I guess sometimes you need to wait to see if it's tried and tested, but efficiency is key. So if there is technology which can make us more efficient, speed up transactions, I'm all for it, and I think everyone should try and embrace that. I think the most obvious one piece of technology that we use at the moment is, DocuSign or e-signing, if we're not allowed to name names. But yeah, e-signing it speeds everything up. Documents can go out, be signed, and be back with who they need to be with within 5 minutes, rather than waiting for the post and waiting for an appointment to sign with a solicitor. It just makes everything so much more efficient.
And you were a really early adopter of that, wasn't you? That framework.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think it came in around about the time of COVID and lockdown. So it was just obvious. It was just that was just such an obvious piece of technology that solved a problem.
Well, the obvious thing would be to carry on doing it. But obviously, I think some people then retrench back to say, well, now we're all back to back to the office. We'll go back to our normal processes. So, Lorraine, interestingly, the same question, I guess, to you about embracing technology. Do you see that AI or anything changing in the underwriting and credit world?
It's a massive piece for us, and we'd really encourage borrowers to embrace it because from the ID piece, if we can get our borrowers completing the ID piece electronically at the outset and getting that done quickly, that just speeds the whole transaction up because we can move forward. DocuSign, again, that's something that we really, really are in favour of because it speeds the whole thing up massively. I think there's all kinds of things that are coming in now that are helping us to speed transactions up. So the way that we review cases, we can do that so much quicker because of AI. And it's getting the right balance of risk and actually implementing the stuff that we need. And I think we're getting it right. We've always been very much on the front foot with that kind of thing at Roma. I'd absolutely advocate it. Yeah.
I think it's as long as you embrace it as an enabler, not a replacement. It should enable smarter decisions, not replace decision making. I think that's the
absolutely key. And I think that's a common pitfall, especially in the legal world where you got laws, cases, those kinds of things that you need to refer back to, and using AI like Google. Okay, let it point you in the right direction, but don't let it do your job. Because it's not always right.
Yeah, I can imagine that you'll have people using AI and coming back to you and say, well, actually on clause X.
Absolutely.
On case law of this.
Exactly.
Outer Mongolia last year, this happened. So.
Spot on.
But you can use AI for other things like making good pictures and stuff like that. That's another good thing, usage for it as well, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do that all the time at Kites,
So what do you see next then over the next few years for Kites? Is there any plans for growth or...
Oh, absolutely. I think in large part, thanks to our clients such as Roma, I don't want to say accidentally, but we've grown a lot quicker than we forecast. So I think it's more of the same, really. We'd like to grow our team, work with the right people. It's not a case of bums on seats. It's a case of we want good quality people to work with, to do good quality work for our clients. More of the same, and looking forward to it.
You're probably grown as a recipe because of the service that you give enables others to grow, and then you become that safe pair of hands, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think there's kind of two main kinds of real estate finance lawyer. There's ones who can churn, which is fine. We absolutely need churn. And then there's advisory. And at Kites, we would like to think, and we are more on the advisory side. We can do a bit of churn, but we like clients who come to us for advice and say, we've got this issue, how can we get around it? How can we structure this loan? This loan may have gone bad. What are our options? What can we do about it? That's what we thrive on.
Yeah, you hear that, don't you, in the office where people will have already rang through to Sam or whoever and had that conversation, front end and back end as well sometimes, about things. So what about credit and Roma for you, Lorraine? What do you see over the next few years for us?
Well, I mean, obviously the growth speaks for itself, and I think that's definitely going to continue the way that we're headed. Super excited for more funding lines, more products, more innovation, which is what we've always been good at. So more of that, and I just think I'm super excited for it.
And have you seen Roma change, I guess, over the last 10 years?
Massively. Yeah, from 4 people in a cupboard-like room, beavering away to where we are now. It's unfathomable. If I couldn't even imagine that back then. But yeah, and I think everybody's done a great job.
And obviously, I think within that, there's been a lot of talent progression within Roma, and a lot of people put that down to yourself. The way that you've given people sometimes a start who's not had any experience in the industry, but helping nurture them through, and that's something that you've been really an advocate of, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think it's about finding people that are a good fit for the business and have got the drive and the appetite to come with us on the journey. So, yeah, love it when that happens.
It's really nice to see that from our point of view as well. You see someone come in as like a case manager, and then there'll be an underwriter, senior underwriter. It's just lovely to see, and everyone, they all stay around, don't they? It's we've been working with the same people from day one, and everyone else who's joined since. We very rarely have an empty seat.
That's true.
But we always like to recruit people ready for the next period of growth, and I think in your recent recruitment that you did, Lorraine, you you're able to give 3 internal promotions,
Yeah.
which again is testament to the work that we've done.
Yeah.
And you've led, which is great. So outside of work then, what kind of things do you get up to?
Oh, wow. I quite like keeping fit, going to the gym, kind of can switch off, just kind of, that's quite nice. Play a bit of squash. I am no good, but I really enjoy it. Squash, yeah.
No paddle. Everyone's into paddle.
I have played a bit of paddle. It's really fun.
Right.
But when you've played squash and you go to paddle, you want to smack the ball, and that's just not how it works.
We'll have a game of paddle.
Okay, I'm up for that.
Lorraine's nearly at paddle stage. I think we're getting it.
Lorraine is nowhere near paddle stage, Michael.
We keep trying.
Just you and me then.
So it's keeping fit for you, and you live in Manchester as well.
Just in the city centre, yeah.
perfect.
So it's always vibrant. Everything's on your doorstep. It's great.
Walking distance to work, walking distance to
Absolutely.
Roma.
Walking distance everywhere, yeah.
Brilliant. What about you, Lo?
Well, as you know, avid gym goer.
Avid.
So you can normally find me there of an evening. And apart from that, I'm a big dog mum. So yeah, my other love is my Cocker Spaniel. So if I'm not in the gym, I'm walking the dog.
And spaniels need a lot of walking, don't they?
They absolutely do.
And a good
Yes,
walk.
get your steps up with those. Yeah.
Brilliant. And before you both get into the jobs you're in now, I know we mentioned on the industry. Is there any other jobs that you've done previously? So obviously we talked, Lorraine, through your career history, but before you got into that, was there anything that you did outside of the finance world?
Yes, I was cabin crew.
Fun.
Flying the friendly skies.
Across the world?
Across the world, based in the Middle East.
Wow.
Long haul, short haul. Did a bit of travelling before I took my seat at the finance table.
And the transferable skill?
People.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the people. Yes, you learn a lot about people at 37,000 feet.
I can imagine. You. Maybe that's a separate story on its own. About
Oh, that's a whole book, that is.
What about yourself, Sam?
Pretty much always been in the legal world.
Wow.
Yeah, did a bit of retail during uni to make a bit of money. But yeah, started in a small firm and everyone did a bit of everything. Always fancied myself as a litigator and hated it. I'm not one for going to court. And yeah, I kind of fell into property, but really enjoyed it. So kind of made my way through residential, commercial, and now doing the finance side.
Brilliant. Okay, well, listen, I'm sure we could carry on talking for a lot longer than we've got allocated, unfortunately. But one thing that's come about today is obviously relationships come from people. The ability for people to converse and have a chat, but actually have aligned goals. And I think there's a synergy between the two businesses, but I think it comes from the relationships that you two hold. And
Absolutely.
on behalf of everyone at Roma, thanks very much to you, Sam, and always thanks very much to you, Lorraine. And thanks to you, everyone, for watching. Thank you and goodbye.